The Rock, what is your Waffle House order?
Waffle House.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like shaking before that happened. In the last couple years or so, I really took this content stuff a little more seriously. I'm trying to create like a new style where it's content interviewer. So I'm a content creator. I'm also an interviewer. I
Yeah.
ask silly questions. That's about Waffle House. I get it. Hanging out with those kind of guys and really learning how they act as professionals is infectious to be around. You know, it makes you want to work a little bit harder.
You were able to get in there with AJ Francis.
I'm a big guy. He makes me feel very normal sized.
That was a big choke slam.
It hurt.
How loyal of an Omosapien are you?
Omos is God. He said he didn't like Waffle House. He said he liked IHOP.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.
My guest today is known for many things, from being a loyal Omosapien, what seems like an honorary member of the Bloodline, and of course, he brings Waffle House a ton of feedback with the very entertaining MuscleManMalcolm interviews. Please welcome the one and only MuscleManMalcolm.
Greetings and salutations. Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How you doing? It's like I said just before, it's awesome having you here and finally meeting you virtually. I've seen your work for so long now, and it's you're just killing it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You know, I just ask about Waffle House, honestly. That's all I do. Ask about food. That's it.
I mean, it gets the job done. Like, look what you've accomplished with that. Waffle House is getting over. And you know what? I did before this interview. Look, why doesn't Waffle House follow you?
Yo, honestly, that's the question I always ask myself too. You
I was
know,
like, they have
uh,
to, especially after The
you would
Rock.
think.
Like,
You would think at this point, right? I sent them some of my stuff. They've liked it before, and that's really been it so far. But it's okay because you know we out
yeah,
here just trying to have fun, just making that original content. So if they want to follow, that's great. They don't have to. You know, they're a multi-million dollar company, I would assume. So whatever
right.
they want to do, they can do. But you know, I'm always over here promoting them anyway for free, I guess.
No, exactly. When it happens, we will all know. But I mean, now better time than ever. No better time than ever to have you on the show. We just saw Roman Reigns return last night, and a bunch of big stuff happened in the world of wrestling. But what do you think of seeing Roman come back?
You know, my tribal chief is Sol Sokoa, so you know, to me, whatever. But I guess they're gonna set up that big triple threat at WrestleMania with him, Punk, and Rollins. So should be exciting. I'm interested to see if that actually main events WrestleMania because
Yeah.
of the kind of people that are in it. It's Roman, it's Punk, it's Rollins, but then you got world title matches and women title matches and women's world title matches that also should main event. So anything could be that night one main event. Then night two with Cody and Cena, of course.
Got it. Yeah, got to be Cody and Cena. I would like to see. I mean, with it being his name, main event, Jey Uso get the main event. But I don't know, like you're saying, like with the big names, it's going to be hard. That's triple threat's going to be
Hard.
massive. Yeah.
It's
Um,
huge. It's huge.
no, but we see what you're doing now. You've got an enormous catalog of really great interviews that everyone should go check out. But I want to bring it back to 99 Awesome One. Some homework
Oh,
I did.
oh no.
I
Oh,
want to
God.
know who Malcolm was then and how that Malcolm approached YouTube versus, who you are now.
Oh Lord. So 99 Awesome One was my original YouTube name. It was just a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid who just wanted to make videos. I think at that point I had moved to Washington, D.C. I didn't have any friends at the moment, so I just needed something to do. So I made a YouTube channel, I had my wrestling figures, and I made them fight and whatnot, and it worked for the time being. But I think the difference between 99 Awesome One and Muscle Man Malcolm is that in the last couple of years or so, I really took this content stuff a little more seriously and jumped into the form of interviewing and whatnot. Have a journalism degree now, if that means anything. And so
Nice.
I decided to start interviewing pro wrestlers.
I think that's awesome. I mean, no better path in my opinion from journalism to interviewing pro wrestlers.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, you obviously turned it on a lot since that, first 99 Awesome One to now. I feel like creator to creator, like we have that moment that we see things pop off, after a while. And we could like pinpoint that and say like that video did a lot for me. I feel like your content is so different too. You include vlogs with your interviews and everything. Do you have that takeoff moment that you remember?
Ooh, I feel like each few months, I hit something that I feel like kind of boosts me up a little bit. So I always pinpoint that. Right now, it probably would have to be the Rock Waffle House video, but in general, before that, um, I would say any of my interviews with Jacob Fott too, probably
Mhm.
because I interviewed him about 4 or 5 times while he's still in MLW and on the independents before he got signed. And I feel like those really took what I do as far as the interviewer a little more seriously, and people start paying attention to it because now when people want to learn more about Jacob, they can look back at those like 4 to 5 interviews that we did and just learn a little bit more about him and get his hot takes on what his family was doing at the time and just
Yeah.
seeing what he's doing now compared to is awesome. So probably Jacob. Jacob's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, those interviews you do with him are so cool, and yeah, like you kind of get a different glimpse, especially since we haven't seen him post WWE now, like the Samoan Werewolf. We haven't seen him let that real self out, I feel, in an interview with, whoever. So it's really cool that you were able to get that before he blew up.
Yeah, hopefully, and hopefully, whenever Jacob does do an interview, when he's in WWE or a part of WWE, I can be that guy for it, you know? So that's always the
Exactly.
goal. I try having those conversations, but we'll see. Maybe one day.
I could see it,
Jacob,
yeah.
whenever you want to do something, let me know. Don't talk to anyone else. Talk to me first.
That's full circle. I mean, I would love that. What do you think it is about, you as a creator that allows you to keep evolving and like coming up with these unique ways to put your content out there? Because like I mentioned, I mean, I don't think there's any, or I could be just saying it, but I don't see many big interviewers that are also doing the vlogs you're doing and how personal you're getting with the talent that you're speaking with too.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I think I was doing so much like just in general wrestling content before I got into the interviews that now I can find a way to try to blend them. So now I'm doing like commentary stuff about what is going on in the Bloodline storyline or vlogs going to
Right.
these wrestling shows and whatnot, which is a little bit different from like typical journalism and typical reporting. So I'm trying to create like a new style where it's what's the phrase I used the other day? A content interviewer. So I'm a content creator, but I'm also an interviewer. I don't personally find myself to be a
I love
journalist.
that.
I
Yeah.
ask silly questions. That's about Waffle House. I get it. Real journalism should be asking a lot more intense and serious questions and hard getting and, gotcha questions and stuff like that. That's not me. That's other people and it works for them and they do a great job at it. For me, I'm asking some silly stuff. We're going to talk about the career. We're going to talk about some highlights, some lowlights, and then we're going to wrap it up with the Waffle House, you know?
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's so true. Like, and I'm curious, how long did it take you to find that, like yourself, and find that voice? Because you do have such an infectious energy, and it is different. It makes you stand out amongst all, like you're saying, the more serious interviewers.
no, I appreciate that for sure. I think when I found like my voice, I don't know. I think I'm still figuring it out, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I'm always like mapping out what's like the next thing. Because for instance, like the Waffle House stuff, that just kind of fell into my lap. I always knew that the Samoan family, the Anoa'i and Fatu family, love Waffle Houses in general. For a while, I was with Lance Anoa'i. We were on the road filming a lot of different things while he was still on the independents before he went to WWE, and
Mhm.
we'd always go to Waffle House. So in my mind, I already had that kind of concept in my head. And so when the opportunity to interview Jay Uso, I was like, well, I already know you talk about it on television. I might as well just ask you. That went well, so then I kept going from there. Um, I almost forgot the question. What was the question again?
I think no, you answered it like just finding that voice and like seeing you.
Yeah.
And I guess that speaks to it, yeah, like seeing that along the way. And like I think having that close relationship probably with like those bloodline members early on, um, I could see that boosting confidence for like myself. I don't know if they did it boost confidence for you?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, like, cause I spent so much time like on the road with Lance, as he was just figuring out what's the next step for his career. And we're talking maybe like 5, 6 months out before he's getting in contact to really sign with the WWE. And to see what he's doing now, while he hasn't made his debut on television yet, hopefully it's soon, because that guy is a talent, and I think he's gonna be up there just like the rest of his family as soon as possible, making that splash in NXT and to hurry up and get to that main roster, get to SmackDown, Raw, WrestleMania, etc. So yeah,
Yeah.
hanging out with those guys, hanging out with people like AJ Francis,
Mhm.
who beat me up. This is a shirt that I wore from the match when he beat me up.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
it hurt a lot. AJ Francis is a big boy. I'm a big boy, but like AJ Francis is a much bigger boy. Hanging out with those kind of guys and really learning how they act as professionals and also these like, super athletes is infectious to be around, it makes you want to work a little bit harder. You understand their struggles and, what goes into their careers on an everyday basis.
Yeah. No, well said for sure. When did the relationship start with those like with Lance, for example? Because I heard you were you producing a documentary about him also or creating?
Yeah, yeah. So we were for a little bit, and then once he signed with WWE, stuff got a little confused in that kind of bubble. But it's fine because I mean he's doing some big things right now, and I have a lot of footage on the guy. So if WWE ever wants to do something on him, I got like 30 hours of footage.
That's
We can make something
incredible.
work. We got a lot of hours of footage. But yeah, I mean I met Lance when I was 13 years old, I think. It was at an independent show in New Jersey, which I'm forgetting the name of. Pro Wrestling Syndicate. Pro Wrestling
Oh,
Syndicate in New Jersey.
PWS. Oh, I remember them. They
Yeah.
used to go to the
Yeah, shout out
Rawway
to them,
Rec
bro.
Center when I was younger.
Yes.
See them there.
In that building too. In
That's
that
a,
building too. It
oh,
was like him, it was Colt
oh,
Cabana, it was like Ron Simmons. It was great.
probably was it oh what Falaba was he there? I remember he was like
I
their
think
he was
so.
a big star, and then Kevin Matthews was is that
Yeah,
his
yeah. Kevin Matthews was
yeah
there.
yeah my
And there was
friend
like a guy that wore like a star costume. I'm forgetting his name though.
yes
You
yeah
know what I'm talking about?
I think it's Starman. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
perfect. Yeah, I think it might be Starman. But yeah,
That's
no, I
so
met him
funny.
there, bro. Like
Wow.
exactly, bro. Like Lance was so cool because at the time I didn't really know anything about indie wrestling. I just knew like I know he's related to the Usos. I don't know exactly how, but I know he is because he looks just like them. Like they all look related.
Yeah.
So, getting a chance to meet him and then seeing him at like MCW and seeing him at a bunch of other different independents, really forged that relationship as far as like wrestler and like over obsessive super fan into
For
eventually,
sure.
you know, I was really big on them, right? Eventually turning into like, well, now I'm an interviewer. I love to interview you. He was my first ever interview. I think I was 15, 16, something like that.
Gotcha.
And eventually form into an actual friendship, when I
Yeah.
decided to stop being too weird and decide to like act like a human for once and stop like, oh my God, you're Lance Anoa'i, you're the greatest ever. And just talk to him like a human.
Damn, that's an awesome story and like really bringing back those PWS memories too. Like I just yeah, that was like yeah, like I said, that was one of the first indie things that my friend and I used to go to at the rec center. I think I saw Sabu throw like or I saw my first fireball there. Sabu threw it in like the main event of a match, probably like 2011 or something. I don't know. It was
Crazy.
good times though, that place. Do you remember when they had like a TV deal for a split second?
Did
PWS.
they?
They did, yeah. Maybe it
Didn't
was a
know that
local
at
show.
all.
I don't know.
Oh no, I'm not even a local from New Jersey. I drove up from DC just to watch that, just
Oh,
because I
that's when
love
you were still in
it.
DC. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Are you still in DC now?
Not now. So I go to grad school like right outside of Philadelphia. So I'm in, Pennsylvania right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, you definitely were able to get that good relationship going with Lance. As like an interviewer to an interviewer, I'm curious about this because I always wonder myself, how different is it for you interviewing people that you grew up watching versus people who maybe came, before your time a little bit, and you have to really do that research because you might be able to find facts, but I feel like there's just a difference when you live through their career.
It's definitely like energy levels are always different. Not like I wouldn't be excited to interview someone else before my
Right.
time. When you interview someone like a Kofi Kingston, who I grew up watching because I started watching wrestling in like 2008. So to see him, do his rise and win the title and whatnot, and get a chance to speak with him at last year's Royal Rumble, that's full circle. So like for me, I was super duper nervous, right? But then if I interview someone like a Bret Hart, I didn't grow up watching Bret Hart. I love Bret Hart. I've gone back and watched everything that he's done, but the nerves just aren't there because it's a guy that I didn't necessarily grow up watching. So it really just comes down to like, am I nervous or not? If it's like someone I grew up watching, I'm probably really nervous, but I'm gonna get through it anyway. But if it's someone I didn't really grow up watching because they're just before my time, it's cool. Like I understand I'm in the presence of a legend. So that's like nerve-wracking, but not in the same way of like I watched you for like every Monday of like my adolescent years.
Right. Yeah, the energy is definitely so important with that because I want to be able to like show you like yeah, I'm in the presence of a legend like you're saying like a DDP for example of like this is so cool, but I want to be able to show him the same excitement of like interviewing. I've never been able to interview like Kofi, but someone like that, of that era for sure.
I saw you interview the Hardys. I mean, that's big.
The Hardys
That's
was my bucket list. That was
hey,
like every
hey,
time
come
someone
on.
asked like who's your bucket list, the Hardys was it. So that was actually a really cool moment. Yeah. And yeah, that energy. similar to what you're saying of Lance trying to find the balance between freaking out and like being a normal person. Like, okay, gotta be an interviewer.
Yeah.
Can't be like this is the best thing in the world. But that's so cool. Now you don't obviously don't have to name names, but I think aspiring interviewers could get a lot out of this, as could I. Are there ever interviews that you walked away from and you were like, oh, that sucked?
I definitely had like one, I won't say the name, but I
Yeah.
definitely had one that I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put that one on the internet. Nah, that wasn't it. I think like the energy I brought was maybe because I know I have a lot of energy. I get very excited when I interview. I think I was too excited, and then I think that kind of made them act a little weird because I was like, maybe it was just me, maybe they had an off day. Something was not connecting, and it led to a very like weird conversation where I had very detailed, questions, and then they saw all the energy I had, and they were like, this guy's a bit much, which I understand. I was being a bit too much. I watched it back. I was like, all right, too much, Malcolm. Got to scale it back. I'm at a 12. I need to go to at least a 9. So it might have been on me. But yeah, I definitely had those kind of interviews before.
I love that the scale goes over 10 anyway, though.
Yeah.
At a 12. I love your energy personally, but I will say, on the flip side of that, are there ever times that you walk away from an interview and you might like in the moment you might be like, oh my God, like nervous or something, but then you walk away and you're like, wait, that's actually great. You watch back the footage and it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that rock question, the Waffle House one,
Uh-huh.
I was like shaking before that happened because I knew I was going to ask something that's like, I understand we're in a press conference and I understand that John Cena just turned heel. Probably one of the biggest moments in wrestling, probably the biggest moment that you or I will ever experience in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask The Rock about, his late night eats at a, diner. So doing that definitely was a nerve-wracking situation, but then walking away from him like that went perfect. He said he was gonna kick me out. He didn't even kick me out. And he even commented on the video. So like it all went well.
I think that was like, and there I saw the different opinions of it, a lot, but mainly positive. But I thought that was one of the best questions asked in that press conference, just because it was so different. Like, I could be going on a limb, but I feel like The Rock remembers that. Like, if you go to The Rock right now, all things that happened in his life, he'd probably like since then he'd probably be like, yeah, I remember that guy asking about Waffle House. Like it stood out. And it was so good, and of course it worked out. It went viral, but your voice, like you didn't tremble. You were just like watching it as as another content creator. I was like, this is great. Like the confidence it must have taken. You wouldn't even have known that you were shaking beforehand.
I appreciate hearing that. And like honestly, I do understand while it has been like a very strong positive reaction, I have seen a negative and I get it, honestly. It's a press conference, big moment just happened. That is a silly question. I understand. I also understand that I would have been given a microphone if they didn't think I was going to ask that question. And if they
Yeah.
thought I was going to ask that question, which they probably assumed I was going to, it's okay. So I get it when people don't necessarily like that. Trust me, I get it. I know where you're coming from. Fully understand. But if you have a better question for Rock, I recommend you go ask. I'm asking
Best
them.
thing to say. They probably, like you said, they might have known that you were going to ask that. As seen your past content. Had you told anyone like sitting around you, like were you like, if I get the chance, I'm going to ask for Waffle House, or did you just like have it and you didn't want to tell anybody?
I don't think I told anyone. I think I might have like jokingly, but I think everyone knows that like they kind of assumed. I know WWE kind of already knew that I was
Mhm.
gonna ask that. So it was like safe assume that everyone kind of was in on when they handed me the mic what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think everyone kind of just knew
for
the
sure.
minute they handed me the microphone, I was gonna say something dumb, I
Crazy.
guess.
No, memorable, I'd say definitely.
I hope that.
Well, the shirt you're wearing, you mentioned you were able to get in there with AJ Francis, otherwise known as Top Dollar, or as you called him to start that match, Flop Dollar. There's a lot of names
Shouldn't have
for.
did that. Should have not did that.
What would 99 Awesome One have said, or the journalism student? when you said you're not only going to be a content interviewer, but you're going to actually step into a ring with a wrestler. How do you think that would have been gone over?
Shocked, scared, and terrified, petrified, probably a better answer. AJ Francis is a big boy. Like, I'm a big guy. He makes me feel very normal sized. Yeah, he's a big guy. Very nice. Until he beat me up. Um, in fairness though, shouldn't have called him Flop Dollar. Should have called him a bunch of words I shouldn't have said. So I definitely deserved the kind of whooping that I got, honestly. So it's fair.
That was a big choke slam.
It hurt. Wrestling hurts. I don't know if people understand this. Like, wrestling hurts a lot. Don't do it if you can't handle it. And personally, I don't think I can handle it. I'm good.
What was the recovery like? How long did you feel that match for?
Probably about 2 days,
Okay.
honestly. Like the next day I woke up, I was like, ooh, ouch. Ow. Didn't like that on the body. Oh, that big bump, choke slam. Not doing that again. So thank you. Hey, shout out all the YouTubers that are turning to pro wrestlers right now. BDE has been killing it. He just had a match with Jake Christ on Pro Wrestling Revolver.
Oh,
Killed
very
it.
cool.
Like all these other guys, man, like that jump into the ring and actually do the thing, and that were content creators or still are content creators. Shout out all you guys. You guys are doing great. I will be there to interview you, and that's it. Chris Danger does great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm there to interview you, not wrestle. Nope.
So I mean, my next question then is no, but I mean, I was gonna say, who is MuscleManMalcolm gonna step in there with next?
If it's the
Who's
right
next?
person, well, I'll think about it. It has to be the right person, though. John Cena, maybe. Yeah,
Oh,
if John
that's a good
Cena wants
one.
to wrestle. Yeah, yeah.
Who do you think would win that one?
Uh, yeah. Next question.
Next, um, something that you and I have in common is that Omos is our hero. I love hearing that you love Omos so much because for some reason, as soon as he burst on the scene, I couldn't help but love him as well. All my friends would say that. How loyal of an Omosapien are you?
So much so that Omos went ring shopping at my girlfriend's mother's jewelry store.
Oh my God.
That's like the random connection I have with Omos. She took a picture with
That's
him,
so
and I saw it,
funny.
and I was like, she's like, "Oh, is this like one of the wrestlers that you like?" I'm like, "That's not one of them. That's the wrestler that I love. Omos is God. God is Omos." So yeah, no, I think got a tight connection with Omos. He said he didn't like Waffle House. He said he liked IHOP, which is
Heard
pretty
that.
disappointing. It's okay though. I'm not gonna hold that against him for more than at least 16 years. So.
I saw the comments on when Omos said he didn't like Waffle House. My favorite one was like the Bloodline is all coming after him, like every single
Bro,
member. Yeah.
it went crazy. Even like AJ Styles commented on it.
Oh
Braun
wow.
Strowman did. IHOP themselves commented. They were like, "Thank you, Omos." So I was like, "All right, where's Waffle House? You all gonna fight back or what?" Because like they're cooking
Yeah,
you over
right.
here.
Defend yourselves.
This is
Um,
the time to fight back.
aside from him not liking Waffle House, which is a big hit to the Omos brand, Omos is like the nicest wrestler I think anyone could possibly meet. I was in Rumble, Tampa, so I guess 2 years ago, and I brought my girlfriend, and she doesn't know anything about wrestling, doesn't really want to, but I was like, no, trust me, like this is gonna be fun. Like we went to the superstore Omos meet and greet, and she was like, oh wow, that's that's a big
Oh
dude.
wow.
And he was and he was so nice. He was like the nicest guy. I couldn't have thanked him. I was like, please make her a fan, Omos, please.
I
Make her
love
an
it.
Omos
Honestly, like
fan.
my girlfriend's favorite wrestler is probably Omos and like Bianca. That's like the only two.
Oh yeah.
Also, Big Boom AJ. She loves Big Boom AJ. My favorite AEW wrestler, personally.
That's
Those are like the only
hilarious.
people she'll ever talk about.
The Rizzler cosplays are out of control.
Oh, bro, honestly, I'm just waiting like what, 18, 12 years or whatever, when the Rizzler steps into an AEW ring for the first time. It's
It's
going to
gonna
be
happen.
magic. Magic.
Can we get a Riz face from you? Can you hit that?
I don't know if I can though. Like I don't think I can hit it the same way he can hit it. That's
Yeah,
like the
he's got something. That taunt,
yeah,
like when he's in a game, people are gonna spam that taunt like crazy.
bro. Like he got, I don't know, he got the sauce, bro. Like I feel like anyone trying to do it, you look like a cheap knockoff. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
that's fair. No, and I'll take that. Well, you are over, last time I checked, at least that awesome 60,000 subscriber hump on YouTube. And congratulations, because that's huge, a lot of hard work. Do
Thank
you
you very much.
remember what it was like hitting that first 1K?
Ooh, yes, I think so. So I was definitely when I was still making like wrestling figure videos. So I was just having the wrestlers just fight, and I was taking too many pictures and stop motion pick fed crap. So I remember hitting it. I was like, man, this is like cool. There's like 1,000 people in the world that are like watching this. I
Yeah,
don't know why they are, but like they are. So that's super cool. So like hitting 60K has been like, all right, this is starting to actually grow a little bit. We on track to something. So the goal is
definitely.
to hit 100K by end of the year. That's the big one. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, so that's the goal, 100K by the end of 2025.
That's the one.
Do you think, I mean, obviously the Rock Waffle House question or all the Waffle House questions have helped with that. Do you think you've like carved out your own Waffle House niche after asking the Rock? Did that like cement it?
I definitely think so. Yeah, I definitely think the last time I was being way too selfish isn't the word, maybe narcissistic. I looked myself up on TikTok and it just said MuscleManMalcolm Waffle House dude. I was like, I made it. I'm something now. Or anytime I'm at like these events and someone happens to recognize me, which is the coolest feeling in the world. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're the Waffle House guy." I'm like, "Hey, my name might be Malcolm, but I'll take that instead. That's way cooler to me."
That is awesome. And also being in that like coveted TikTok search bar. Love it.
That's it. Perfect. It's
That's
perfect.
all you, yes, that's what to strive for. Would you say that that climb to 60,000 came easy, or was it like a hard, not hard, but was it a road that you traveled to get there?
Definitely a road. So, and it's a road that was hard only for my faults. So during like my undergrad school, like I just really wasn't taking YouTube seriously. I would like work a little bit hard towards it, and then I like take 3 weeks off, and then I work a little harder, and then take 2 months off. Work a
Mhm.
little harder, take 4 months off. So I definitely wasn't taking it seriously at that point. I think I had maybe let's say like 30K, and like when it coming out of college, I was like, all right, like if I had really taken it seriously like I would do now, I would be way past 100K, hopefully. So now I feel like I've used the last few years, especially since like the pandemic, and tried to kind of make up for lost time. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like been the goal right now and kind of the motivator to keep pushing, keep going. Because like I know I should be further along if I had just taken that time when I should have. So now I'm kind of like trying to make up for lost time, you know?
Yeah. No, it's cool that you're able to look at that too in like retrospect. And it's one of those things, like if you hadn't gone on the break, would you have, I don't know, the same mental clarity to put in more work now?
Yeah,
It's like the break had to happen type of thing, you know?
yeah, of course. Everything happens for a reason, so I'm happy
Right.
to be in this situation. So, it is what it is sometimes, but now we're on the get back. So I'm trying to get that 100K
Oh yeah.
soon. So I feel like all this has been worth it.
Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait to see it. End of 2025. Everyone, you heard that. If you're not already subscribed, go do it.
Mhm.
Um, Waffle House, the question itself, when did it start? I know you said the Bloodline, you always go to Waffle House. When was the first official Waffle House question asked?
I think it was Jay. So I interviewed Jay
Okay.
before I Blood. It was at a Cricket Wireless store, and I only had like 3 minutes to talk to him, which is fine. I mean, I like to work under pressure, so I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So I think I was hitting him with a couple of different Bloodline questions. I was like, all right, this is gonna be the last one. Tell me your Waffle House order, or maybe it was like the second to last one. And he seemed a little shocked by it. So I was like, all right, this is perfect because he wasn't expecting someone to actually ask him this, which is surprising that no one had at that point. I'm genuinely shocked.
Especially with the
Um,
Rhea Ripley stuff, right? I feel like that was right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, that was like literally one of the hottest things when it came to like that dynamic between those two. So it was shocking to see no one asked that at that point. So I kind of I just got lucky. Honestly, I got really lucky.
Yeah.
And he gave me the answer and we had a good little banter and it worked out. Now I'm seeing people on TikTok actually like go to Waffle House and order Jay's order, which is crazy because he
Um,
ordered way too much food. I don't know how.
Do you remember what his order
Honestly.
was?
Oh, there was a lot of food. It was like three lemonades, uh, waffle with chocolate chip. Yeah, waffle with chocolate chips. He wanted his hash browns scattered and covered. That means you got some onions and some cheese on it. He had some eggs in there, I think. and a bunch of other stuff. And he started to list off his kids' order. I should let him actually just like finish and actually say his kids' orders too. But I just for some reason I was like, I have like 30 more seconds. Let me get as many questions in as I can, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of food. I think I'm gonna start a series where I actually go to Waffle House and just order these wrestlers' actual order because like, why not? The Rock said he eats a dozen eggs. I might as well try.
Yeah.
If I can't, then I mean I'm a normal human at that point because I can't eat a
Exactly.
dozen eggs.
Then you take in some eggs home. And what's the problem with
Exactly.
that?
Eat it for
Yeah.
later.
Eat it for later. That's so funny. Well, what is the most shocking Waffle House order that you think you've heard?
Hmm. I think the most shocking one was like Omos just not liking it.
Yeah.
No. The most shocking one, hmm. I think Richard Holiday said he likes pecan waffles, and to me, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, if you're gonna get a waffle, why make it healthy? Like, and you're at Waffle House too. Like, I get it. He's an in shape dude. He's a pro wrestler, big superstar athlete, soon to be in WWE and AEW. But like, if you're gonna eat Waffle House, can you just like enjoy yourself for a second and not try to be like the biggest health nut in the world? This isn't my Fitness Pal guy. This is Waffle House, so it's gonna be greasy and gross. So you might as well just get something you actually genuinely enjoy and not try to be healthy. So when he said pecan waffle, that bothered me to my core. He recently took a
Of
picture of
course.
pecan waffle. Yeah, it bothered me to my core, bro.
Yeah.
Took a picture of his Waffle House order and sent it to me on Instagram. So I put on my story. I was like, this is gross. Why would you do that? So Richard Holiday, you have the weirdest order. But you're a great guy. And I would love to do more interviews with you. We should go to Waffle House together and talk about why you have a disgusting ideology of waffles.
Yeah, that is pretty gross. As someone who doesn't even like pecans, I don't know why you'd put that in, in a waffle.
Yuck.
I feel like Waffle House, you enter that and you're happy. You know, you should be very pleased. You should be, and also you shouldn't be thinking about health at the end of the day. I mean, I guess The Rock with his eggs and stuff, but I mean, does it really matter what The Rock eats at this point? Like, I feel
No,
whatever
he's just the
it'll
rock.
just turn into more rock, right? Turn into
Yeah, he just turns into more muscle at this point.
more
He's like
muscle.
body fat.
Well, you were side by side alongside fellow content creator Chris Van Vliet for Elimination Chamber, and I saw your vlog, awesome vlog. You saw one of the coolest moments, like you said, one of the biggest moments probably we'll ever see. John Cena turning heel. What we saw your reaction to the vlog, but take us through what was going through your mind.
It just didn't feel real. Like John Cena turning heel doesn't make sense to me. Like even saying that out loud still feels like a joke. I feel like we're all joking about this. Like, oh, that would have been funny if that happened, but like it actually did. So I'm in the middle of like this is what I wanted to see when I was 12, but also like you ruined my childhood when I was 8. It's a confusing time, honestly. So when the camera let me talk through it. So when he hugged Cody, for some reason I was like, somehow they're gonna turn around and Cody's gonna be looking at The Rock. You know, whatever. He's gonna turn heel. But like when I realized that Rock and Cena are looking at each other, I'm like, huh? What? And then as he seen his face turn, I'm like, huh? What's
Yeah.
happening? And then he kicks him. I'm like, whoa, huh? This is not real life. This can't be real. My childhood. He signed that Fruity Pebbles box. This can't be real.
Is it too hard to bring that closer, that Fruity Pebbles box?
Bring closer. Yeah. Here we go.
That is awesome.
He is that guy.
Wow.
He can't do that kind of stuff.
Look at him.
He can't.
No, that's not a heel.
It's crazy times we live in. Crazy times.
The worst timeline, honestly. John Cena is heel. But then again, you know, obviously the cool part is that we now get to see all these new matches as John Cena is a heel, and who knows what the theme song is going to be. There's a lot of talk. You know, I'm seeing Thugonomics. I don't think it's going to be because this is a different heel John Cena. This is like Hollywood heel John Cena. Two things about his heel turn. One, what do you think the theme song is going to be?
I feel like it's gonna be something we haven't heard. But if I had to pick a song that he's already done, I think it was called Bad Man.
Bad
I think that's
Man, yeah.
perfect. Has to be perfect for him, you know. Honestly,
Yes.
like that song, it just fits like a heel John Cena. But I generally think it's gonna be something we just haven't heard before.
Do you think also will he shave his head?
He should.
He should.
He should, or he should go to Turkey, one or the other. But he should. Um, Or he doesn't, whatever John Cena wants to do, he's rich.
Whatever. Exactly. Yeah. I'm seeing all the pictures of him and Rock both with like bald heads,
I would love that.
Hollywood mega powers in unison.
That'd be great. That'd be perfect.
Now, finally, do you think heel John Cena will acknowledge Rock as his tribal chief?
Ooh. I'm gonna say no. I feel like somehow this is gonna turn into John Cena turning on The Rock. Like
Right.
he wasn't like really healed this whole time. He was just trying to like just get one up on The Rock again.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like it's gonna end. So I don't know if he acknowledges him as tribal chief, the high chief, whatever he wants to call him. Because at the end of the day, the real tribal chief is always gonna be Solo Sikoa.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting time in wrestling, but I want to thank you so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you've got a ton of stuff, ton of Waffle House stuff to edit all the interviews, but thank you, dude. Thank you for coming on here. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate it. Like you're a great interviewer, so this is a lot of fun to do this for sure.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. And I got one more question. My final one. If you could go back and give one piece of advice to younger Malcolm before he is now Muscleman Malcolm, what would it be on this content creator journey?
The three most important words. Acknowledge Solo Sikoa. Yep. Yep. I love you, Solo.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.